Okay, so long division and synthetic division. First, we're going to learn how to long divide, kind of review on just long division, even with numbers, same kind of process. And then we'll look at this new way to divide, synthetic division, which you'll find after we learn the process, it's a lot quicker, a lot easier, I think. But we do these divisions to try to factor some equations. So let's look at a long division. So 1a. So this is long division. So we'll do this first. All right, so let's say we have 5x squared minus 17x minus 12, and we're going to divide this by x minus 4. Okay, we'll set that up in a second, but let me go ahead and put 1b, and I'll ask, is x minus 4 a factor of 5x squared minus 17x minus 12? Question mark. We'll get back to that and answer that after we divide. Okay, so we're going to divide this by that. All right, so long division. Okay, so we're dividing this into that, so we'll put that on the outside, x minus 4. We'll divide that into 5x squared minus 17x minus 12. Okay, let me show you the process here. I believe you guys have done this before. Not even, no? Not even. You guys remember how to divide with numbers, just numbers? Yeah. You say how many times that go into that, put it up there, then you multiply, do that, subtract. Okay, it's the same process. Same process. Okay, so this is what we do. So we look at our variable there. I'll just kind of underline that, triple underline that. So we're looking at x. That's what we're going to divide into this first thing, 5x squared. So basically, what do you have to multiply x to get 5x squared? An x and also a 5. Okay, so it goes in there 5x times. Thank you. Okay, so it goes in there 5x times. And then, just like with numbers, then we take this and multiply by that and put it right there. Okay, and I'm going to put this in parentheses to make sure we distribute when we multiply this 5x times this. Okay, so we multiply it, and so what do we get? 5x squared minus 20x. Okay, so this is exactly what you did with numbers, or do with numbers when you divide, long divide. So we figure out how many times this goes into that, put it there, then we multiply it, do this, and then we subtract. Well, an easy way to subtract, especially if you have variables, is to change the signs and add. So you're multiplying by -1 and add them. That's the same thing as subtracting. Okay? So, I mean, you could think about it. If you have -17x minus -20x, well, what's minus a negative? Positive, right? And if you have 5x squared minus 5x squared, right, gives you 0. So we can change these signs and then add. It's the same thing. Just makes it easier to look at. So I'm going to change the sign. So this becomes minus. This becomes plus. So go ahead and change that. And then now we add. Okay, so what do we have? 3x, and that's 0. This will always be 0 there. That's kind of what we do to divide. And then we do what? Bring it down. Okay, so bring this minus 12 down. And then we do the same process until we have a remainder or nothing left. Okay, so what do you have to multiply this x to get 3x? 3. Do I just put 3 up there? No, we put positive 3. So plus, so positive 3. Okay, so it goes in there 3 times. Let's multiply it. So make sure you distribute, but we get what? 3x minus 12. Let's keep doing the same process. Then we subtract. So how do we subtract? Change the signs, and add. So this becomes minus, this becomes plus, and we add. And what do we get? 0. 0 remainder. There's no remainder. Perfect. That's our answer. If we divide this into that, that's our answer. Okay, so to answer 1b, is x minus 4 a factor of that? What would you say?
Yeah.
Yes. Why is it a factor? It goes in there evenly. There's no remainder. Right? There we go. Good. All right, let's look at another one. 2a. So let's divide x plus 3 into x squared minus 3x minus 4. And then 2b is x plus 3 a factor of this thing right there. Okay? Well, let's divide. Okay, so we're just looking at that in front. Okay, so what do we have to multiply x to get x squared? Or how many times does x go into x squared? It goes in there once. So what do I put right there? X. So x times x squared. Okay, now let's multiply. So we get x squared. What? We'll distribute this to that. Plus 3x, right? X squared plus 3x. Now we subtract, but the way we're going to subtract is we're going to change the signs and add. So this becomes minus. This becomes minus right there. And then we add. All right, so what do we get? 6x, negative 6x, and that's gone. And we bring down the minus 4. There we go. Okay, we just divide in there again. So what do we have to multiply x to get negative 6x? Minus 6. So minus 6. And then we multiply. Make sure you distribute. So we have negative 6x minus 18. There we go. Okay, same process. Let's go ahead and subtract. So change the signs. Make that a plus. Make that a plus. And then you add. And what do we get? Positive 14. Okay, and then as soon as your x, okay, we don't have any more x's left in there. So what is this thing? That's our remainder. So it didn't go in there evenly. All right? So our answer, I guess if we divide it in there, the answer is x minus 6 plus our remainder. You guys know how to write our remainder? Even with the numbers, how did you do this? Plus 14 over x plus 3. X plus 3. Okay, your divisor, x plus 3. Okay, so that's your answer. If we divide x plus 3 into that, we get x minus 6 plus this remainder of 14 over this x plus 3. Okay, so is x plus 3 a factor? No, it's not. Why? Because there's a remainder. Trevor.
So why did you, at the top, change the other one to a negative as well? Right there.
Right here?
Yeah.
I changed both signs.
Because usually don't you make the front one negative and then the next one positive?
No, I just, whatever these signs are, I make it opposite. This was a plus, I made it a minus. This was a plus, I made it a minus.
Okay.
I just change the signs. Okay, whatever it is, I change it. Okay, so so this is not a factor, it just doesn't go in there evenly. Okay. Okay, let me do one more long division. And then actually you're going to do one more long division. Okay, we're going to divide x plus 2 into x to the 4th plus 5x cubed plus 6x squared minus x minus 2. Why? Ask why. Okay, and then b is x plus 2 a factor of that? Question mark. Okay, so go to it. Okay, look at the x, and then I'll start you off, x cubed, and then just make sure you distribute. Okay, just do the process probably a couple times. And this is long division. You can do this, you can try to do any of it. As long as you know the process. Multiply and add, so I think we can do it. You subtract, change the sign, and add. And once we learn how to synthetically divide, you're probably not going to want to long divide anymore. But you will have to on the test. Please. You guys finish? Or some of you guys finish? Almost? I did the first one for you. Oh. Those that finished, or did someone finish? Is there a remainder? No? There is a remainder? No remainder? Okay, we got some that has a remainder, no remainder? Okay. Well, for sake of time here, so I think you've got, okay, so we got this, we got x to the 4th plus 2x cubed. That's as far as you got. Okay, well, what do we do now? Courtney, what do we do now? Change the signs. That becomes minus, this plus becomes minus, and then what do we do? Okay, so, well, we add them, which is the same as subtract if we change the side. So we get 3x cubed, that's gone. Then what? What do we do now? Bring down, so plus 6x squared. All right, so do the process again. What do we have to multiply x to get 3x cubed? Plus 3x squared. Okay, 3x, and then we multiply. So we get 3x cubed plus 6x squared. Well, that's kind of nice, I guess. We change the signs. That's minus. That's minus right there. What do we get when we add? 0. Nice. So now what do we do? Bring down the negative x. In fact, since we're at this point, let's go ahead and bring down the minus 2 as well. It'll be the same. It'll just save us one round of dividing. Okay, so what do we have to multiply x to get negative x? Negative 1. There we go. Let's multiply. And what do we get? Negative x minus 2. Change the signs and add. What do we get? 0. There we go. So there's no remainder. Okay, good, good. So is that a factor? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Okay. There we go. So that's long division. That's long division. All right. Okay, now synthetic division. Synthetic division does the same thing. It'll divide something into something and get your answer. Okay, and you can see if there's a remainder or not. Okay, so synthetic division. Turn this over. synthetic division. Okay, for A, okay, if we have 5x cubed plus 18x squared plus 7x minus 6, and we want to divide that by x plus 3. And then B is x plus 3 a factor of that thing right there? Question mark. All right. Synthetic division. It's going to look a lot different, the setup. But I'll show you the process, and I think you'll probably prefer this over long division. I'd say 99 out of 99 prefer it. I'm just kidding. So that would be 100%. Okay, so what we do is this. We put the root, or the answer, or however you want to look at it, in this little box thing. So -3. Okay, whatever makes that 0, we put this in a little box. So -3 is the root. So I put -3 and then put a little box like that. Again, it'll look a lot different, but just kind of wait and see how this works. Then we're going to divide it into this, so we put all the coefficients. Okay? Not the x's, but just the coefficients, the numbers in front. Okay, so we have 5, x cubed, so 5, and then 18, and then 7, and then -6. Okay, this, we need to put some space holders or placeholders if there was no x squares, for example. So this goes x cubed, x squared, x to the first, then a number. So we have everything there. If there was no x squared, so let's say it was just 5x cubed plus 7x, we go 5, then you have to put 0 because there's 0x squareds, and then 7, so you'd have to put a 0 there, or it does not work. All right, so there we go, got our coefficients. Then, still on our setup here, leave a space here because we're going to put some numbers here. Leave a space, and then put a line across. So leave a space there, put a line across. And then below this 6 or -6 here, put a line down. That's our setup. Looks a lot different, but that's our setup. So this keeps everything straight when we synthetically divide. Okay, this is our remainder spot. This is our remainder spot. If we have a remainder 0, then yep, that's a factor. If you have something else, then no, it's not a factor. All right. So first step, to synthetically divide. You take your first number, I just draw an arrow, and I just bring it down and I put it right there. So that's the first step. Bring that first number down and rewrite it. Okay, next is just a pattern. You're going to multiply, put the answer there, and then add. Then you're going to multiply, put the answer there, add. Multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add all the way through. Okay, so watch. So we multiply these two. What's -3 times 5? -15, so you put it right there. So we multiply. And then we add. So you add these two. What do you get? 3. Do the same process. You multiply. So -3 times 3. -9. And then we add. What do we get? -2. And then we multiply. What do we get? 6. And then we add. What do we get? 0. There's no remainder. Make sense? But now we got to know what our answer is. We wanted to divide this thing, and we should get some kind of answer as far as x's and x squareds and stuff, right? Well, this is our answer. This is our remainder, this space. This is our number. This is our x to the first. This is our x to the second. If we had more, x cubed, x to 4. So it starts with, so this is our number. This is our x. This is our x squared. So our answer, if we divide this into that, here's our answer. This is 5x squared plus 3x minus 2 with no remainder. It went in there evenly. And there we go. Easy process, right? Kind of, sort of, a little different. So let's answer this. Is that a factor? Yes, because there's no remainder. If you did long division with this right there, if you did long division, this would be your answer up top, right? It would be your answer. Okay? Okay, questions on that? Okay, let's look at another one. Okay, 5a. Okay, 5x cubed plus 6x plus 8. We're going to divide that by x plus 2. And b, x plus 2, a factor? Question mark. Okay? All right, so let's see if it goes in there evenly. All right, so what do we put in the little box? 2 or negative 2? Negative 2. Whatever makes that 0 right there. Whatever makes that 0. So negative 2. So negative 2 is in the box. Okay, now what do we do? 5. Why 0? There's no x squareds. All right, good. You have to have that there. It's going to throw everything off, right? So 5x cubed, 0, and then 6, and then 8. There we go. Leave a little space, draw a little line, draw your place for your remainder. Okay. Bring down that first number. Happens to be 5 again. Okay, go to it. Synthetically divide. Get your answer. See if it goes in there evenly. Get the remainders. And then write your answer as well. Write your answer afterwards. Even if there is a remainder, write the remainder as well. Okay. All right. Brock, tell me what to write. What'd you do? It's all right. Okay, so you, negative 10, so you put it there. And then what do we do with these two? Add, subtract, multiply, or divide. Or we add, which is negative 10, so we add. Multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. Okay, so knowing that, you continue this. So we added that, you get that. So now you multiply it. What do you get? Or negative times a negative? So positive 20. And then Brock, keep going, then add. Okay, 26. Multiply, it's negative 52. Add, by the way, is that going to be a factor? No, it's going to be a remainder. What is that? Negative 44? Okay, there we go. So there's a remainder, didn't go in there evenly, but let's go and write our answer. What is our answer? If we divide this into that. 5x squared minus 10x's plus 26 plus negative 44 over what? X plus 2. Good. Divisor, x plus 2. There we go. And then no, it is not a factor. It is not a factor. Courtney, question? This coefficients, or this is our number. This is our coefficient in front of the x to the first. This is our x squared, and it kind of keeps on going. So remainder, just our number, like our c, our x squared, x2, and so forth. And if you think about it, if you take an x cubed, you divide it by an x to the first, it's going to knock it down by one exponent. And there we go. Okay. All right, we need to do 2 more. Okay, number 6. Okay, number 6. So you're going to sketch this graph. And we know how to sketch because we can do cross bounds, right? So, but I'm going to make it a little easier given that negative 4 is a 0 in x-intercept. All right? So y is equal to x cubed minus 28x minus 48. Okay, so let's say this was on the test or whatever. And they said, sketch this thing. Well, okay, we know we have to factor this, right? We have to put in our little parentheses. Do we know any method so far to factor this thing? Can we put 2 parentheses? Why can't we put 2 parentheses and then just do our... Yeah, this is not a quadratic. This is x cubed, and it's... Okay, we can't do that. Can we do factor by grouping? Maybe these 2 take on x squared minus 28, and then minus 48. No, that doesn't work. So we don't know how to factor this. We don't know how to factor this. I can't factor it without this synthetic division or long division help. Okay, you just can't do it. Okay, so we're given a little hint. Negative 4 is a root. Negative 4 is one of the x-intercepts. That'll help us start factoring this. Okay, if negative 4 is a 0, let's start factoring it. Y equals, is anyone with me here? Yeah, I'm going to start factoring this. I know that this is a 0. What can I put right there? Negative 4. Okay, hang on, let me clue you in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I know the... Okay, I know whatever this graph looks like. I have no idea, by the way. It might be something whatever, like this. Okay, if your graph looked like that, well, didn't look quite like that, whatever. Can we start writing this equation? Yes, we can, because negative 4 is right there. How do we start writing this equation? What's one of the factors? There you go. X plus 4. Okay, so far, x plus 4 is one of them, right? Then we got something left. But at least we know that. They gave us a clue. Negative 4 is one of the roots, right? Okay. So what should we do now? Oh, no, can't soap. Let's go ahead and divide this into that and see what we have left, the leftovers, right? Okay, if they said 4 is a factor of 28, and you wanted to find the other factor, if 4 is a factor of 28, and they wanted to find the other factor, what would you do? Divide 4 into 28 and see what you got left. You got 7 left, so 7's the other factor, right? So that's exactly what we're going to do. So we're going to divide this into that. Do you want to do long division? Do you want to do synthetic? Synthetic, okay. So What do we put in the box? -4. You put the root. You put whatever makes that 0. Okay, so -4 in the box. We'll divide it into that. So what do we have? 1, 0, -28, -48. Okay. So are we going to get 0 right there? For sure?
Yeah.
Absolutely 100% sure, unless I lied to you. I said that this is a 0. This will go in there evenly. We just want to find out the leftover. All right, so bring down the 1, and we start the process. Okay, so Brock, what do we do again? So we get -4, good, and then we do the process. So we multiply, so we get 16, then we add, we get 12 or -12? -12, then we multiply, we get +48, we get a remainder of 0. We knew that was going to happen. We just needed to get the leftover, right? So then, well, what is our leftover here? How do we write this? 1x squared minus, okay, so I'm going to put that right up here. Right up here. So 1x squared minus 4x minus 12. Right? Okay. We want to sketch this, so we have to do what? We got to factor this. Let's see if there's factors. Okay. So we've got it almost there. So we have x plus 4 times, let's see if this thing factors. X times x, what times what's 12? That'll give us a 4. 6 times 2, we need -4x, minus 6x, plus 2x. There we go, it's factored. Hey, do you think we can graph that? I would hope so. All right, so let's go ahead and sketch it. So I'll put it right here. All right, so the zeros. So -4, 1, 2, 3, 4. -4 is a root. 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And also -2. Is 0 an x-intercept? 0? No, there's no x minus 0. There's no x. Okay, so there we go. Okay, what's the degree?
3.
So where do we start? Bottom. Okay, there's no leading negative, so bottom. What do we do at each one of the x-intercepts? Cross at there, cross there, because they are odd powers. So cross, cross, and cross. There's our graph. There's our graph. Okay, and the only way we could have graphed that is to factor that. Only way to factor it that we know is to divide. Okay. All right. Last. What time do we get out? And it's 49. Okay. You guys get the idea?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was going to do probably kind of real similar to that. Okay. So your homework. There's long division. There's synthetic division, and there's some graphing, just like our notes. Okay. Quiz on block day.